He lifts it high to right field. Gone! Oceanside wins it in the bottom of the 6th.
And they call him Big Mac. His real name is David Carroll. Either way, he's a hero after hitting a 3-run homer to beat Louisiana 5-2 in the 6th inning. And we'll have
Series game for Oceanside was pivotal. A win over South Lake Charles, Louisiana would guarantee that Oceanside would advance out of pool play and on to the next round. This team went 6-0 through the West Regional, and a win today would put them 2-0 in this World Series. In the first inning, Taylor DeMille drives one to right for Oceanside. He was 2 for 3 on the day. Thomas Ukovic would score. Then an errant throw allows Josh Harris to try and come in. There's going to be a play at the plate, and he's out. But Oceanside leads this one 1-0 after one. In the top of the 2nd, Louisiana, representing the Gulf States, goes on top 2-1 when Ty Todd, the catcher, hits a 2-run homer. It stayed 2-1 until the bottom of the 5th. That's when Ukovic singled to score Mike Noble. We're tied at 2. Ukovic 2 for 3 at the plate on the day. In the bottom of the 6th, Oceanside with a man on. Wiley Zabel with the bunt. Outruns the play at first. Oceanside with runners at 1st and 2nd. Then first baseman David Carroll comes up. His only hit of the game was huge, a 3-run homer to end it. Oceanside wins the game 5-2. Oceanside is now 2-0 in pool play along with Indiana. The two meet tomorrow at 4 p.m. If Oceanside wins that game, they play in the U.S. semifinal on Wednesday. If they lose, they play in the other U.S. semifinal on Thursday. So win or lose, Oceanside will move on to the semifinals thanks to today's win.
all right, now
Lost tonight, everybody's probably heard by now, but, well, hey, tomorrow's really important. Oceanside is into the Little League World Series semifinals. They'll play on Thursday, but tomorrow they will find out who their opponent will be, and you want to pay close attention to the game between New York and Washington State. If New York wins that game, they'll play Oceanside on Thursday. They will likely throw the series' best pitcher. Young Danny Almonte, who's already thrown a perfect game, is not allowed to run the entire season. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Meantime, Oceanside unable to win their pool, beaten by Brownsburg, Indiana today. Taylor DeMille did his best. He had a no-hitter through 5 innings. Looked like things would be good, but his O-side gets a run in the 4th here. Great defensive play by the Indiana player to get the out, but Johnny Jimenez scores. It was 1-0 our guys. Matthew Serta bidding for more, but more Indiana D. A double play kept the game 1-0. Top 6 now. DeMille loses his no-hitter, then gives up the run-scoring shot to T.J. Bomay. A strong relay throw, but the ball will get away from Serta, the catcher, and the runner is safe. Now later, a chopper to 3rd. DeMille is over there. He was at pitcher, but he moved over to the 3rd, and he can't handle it, and a run is in. The go-ahead run. Bomay would slam the door. This kid is 6 feet tall, 135, and he got it done. It's 2-1 to take. They take first place in Pool A. Again, Oceanside will play Thursday night. Their opponent will be determined again tomorrow. Young pitching phenom Danny Almonte from the Bronx, New York tonight. Almonte had not allowed a hit this series, not a run all year. Oceanside, though, countering with the guy on the left there, Thomas Ukovic. Oceanside gets some great defense early. Josh Harris goes and gets it. Nice. Johnny Jimenez gets the first hit of the series off Almonte by any team, but both pitchers were in control of this one. Ukovic was throwing strikes. He had plenty of strikeouts tonight, and Almonte was matching him. Scoreless into the 5th inning. Almonte just throws gas for a young man. Here's the controversial play now. A shot down the line. A Bronx player heading to 3rd, but he will not touch second base. You'll get a better look of it in the second as the Oceanside fans are going, appeal. See what you can do. Now look closely. He goes right over the bag without touching second. Oceanside did appeal, but the umpire calls him safe. He missed the call as well. And it would unfortunately cost them because a little nubber scores a run here. The only run of the game as the Bronx take the lead 1-0. And that's all they need for Almonte. This kid is spectacular. A one-hit shutout, 16 strikeouts. Oceanside is eliminated. We'll hear from the team coming up at 11. Padres wrap
out of the Oceanside guys.
He missed second base by a wide mark, but the umpire didn't see it, so nothing you could do about it now.
Budding ball players like Sean Soames, who's faced Taylor DeMille's pitching himself, can only marvel at Oceanside's sportsmanlike acceptance of the outcome.
I guess they just have a lot of class, and they knew that they made it all the way to Williamsport out of like hundreds of teams in the United States, and but they just got sent home on a bad call.
I think you learn from losing, personally. I think it's just part of life. There's a winner and a loser.
Having coached Little League teams for 47 years, Joe Schloss reassures his players that the breaks tend to even out. He says it's how you handle the bad breaks that determines whether you're a winner.
And you have to build into the kids, that's the way the world is.
Not forget Thomas Yukovic.
They unquestionably have learned life lessons from this experience and baseball lessons and sports lessons. And one of them is that you can overcome this kind of adversity. You just need more dedication, and you need to also learn from it. And they will. There's no doubt about that. They will learn from it.
The Padres plan to host the Oceanside team at an upcoming game where they'll join the big leaguers on the field for warm-ups and formal introductions. And Lucchino says it would be fitting for the Padres to ask the kids for their autographs, heroic as they have been.
To take part in Little League District playoffs next year. Full compliance with all the rules, regulations, and policies of Little League is required before the Rolando Polino Little League can enter teams in the 2002 International Tournament. We will be working closely with the leadership of the Rolando Polino Little League during the off-season and the coming year, because we know the league is a valuable asset to the Bronx community. We will also be working with the U.S. State Department and immigration officials to strengthen our age verification procedures. Current procedures for verifying age require an original government-issued document, such as a birth certificate in the United States, that lists the correct date of birth. The Charter Committee voted unanimously to forfeit all of the victories won by the Rolando Polino Little League team in 2001. Including the championship titles won at the end of the district, sectional, regional play as well. In addition, the third place game won by the Rolando Polino Little League in the Little League World Series has been forfeited in favor of the Curacao Little League team representing the Latin American region. Additionally, any records established by the Rolando Polino Little League team or its players in the World Series will not be considered official and will be stricken from the Little League records.
They reacted philosophically, saying that it doesn't really change their scores, except that being 20-2, they're now 20-1.
We also hope that this matter will ultimately not overshadow the accomplishments of the 2001 Little League World Series championship team from Tokyo, Japan, and the achievements of all the teams in the 2001 Little League World Series.
The team piled into the executive office at Upper Deck, a baseball trading card company that had honored them earlier in the day. They were glued to the TV set, watching as the president of Little League doled out the consequences, and when it was over, this was their reaction.
I think they made the right decision for right now. If in further investigation determines that there's been a little bit deeper involvement by others, then they're going to have to take further action. So I don't think this is the end of it. I think this is just what they needed to do right now for damage control, so that they could react to the findings in the Dominican that Almonte was actually 14 years old. So they had to come out with something pretty quick.
It means I beat the Bronx in front of 21,000 people. Yeah.
That feel good?
Yeah, it does.
Is that enough for you?
Yeah, it is. I mean, we just made it there. That's cool enough for me.
You have to love these kids, and I correct myself. They are 21-1 now. You gotta love that.
But did not whine when an umpire's missed call helped eliminate them from the Little League World Series. They did not cry foul when they learned that Danny Almonte, the overpowering pitcher that beat them in that game, was really 14.
I told these kids, just put it between the lines, and whatever happens, you know, they have always been proud in my eyes as long as they play 110%.
Today, a chance for Oceanside to say thank you and job well done to the coaches and players who represented the city on a world stage.